Deco. Hello.
Hello and welcome to Knits and Giggles podcast. I'm Brandie.
I'm Debbie. And we're going to talk about knitting and all the things that have to do with knitting and fiber and reading and things like that.
Yeah. All right. And this is episode 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, episode 5. Yay.
Look at us. We're still here.
We're still... Okay, let's say that at episode 50.
5 episodes in.
Oh, what are you wearing?
I'm wearing, so last podcast, I shared that this was an FO, but the ends weren't woven in and it wasn't blocked. So now my Nebula by the pattern is Andrea Mowry is done. It's done and it's blocked and I wear it all the time.
It's beautiful.
And the yarn is Bramble Ridge Suri DK. So it's a drop shoulder bottom up. Yeah. Very comfy.
It's beautiful.
It is, so I almost used 3 full skeins for this. I had a little bit left. I wish it were a little tiny bit longer.
Oh.
Just like
Oh, in the front?
A little bit.
I can see that.
Tiny bit. I don't know if maybe I block it again and really pull it, maybe, but otherwise it's pretty good. Like I'm always going to wear it layered over something anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not like...
No, it's too bad it's not top down because you could just add a few
Add a
rolls
little
of...
bit, but... Yeah. No. I like it. It's
beautiful.
It's very comfy.
It's so soft. I dug deep into my dive of garments, and this is crochet, and it is the gingerbread pullover by Briana Kepner. Yes, Kepner. BrianaKDesigns on, or BrianaKDesigns, sorry, on Instagram. And yeah, I made it a long time ago. I don't remember exactly when, but I'm guessing like 2017 maybe.
Does that pattern, did you color block it yourself, or is that the way?
This is actually, yeah, so this is how it is, and I actually brought up, it's funny, this is an old design of hers, obviously, but I went to her Instagram to find this, just to make sure I was getting the right name and everything, because it was actually originally published in like a online magazine that a bunch of designers had done together. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but I had gotten one of the, I think I won an, what would that be called? Not an episode. That's TV. A magazine edition. I won the first edition.
Okay.
I don't know.
That makes sense. I'm like, a contest? What do you mean you won something?
The first, whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so here, and she had just posted that whole long ramble, she very recently posted this reel with this sweater. So you can see it's the color blocking. And then hers, I think the collar looks wider than mine. So maybe I made some mods, or she's made some mods since then.
That's very, like, boat neck.
It's very boat neck. Also, my crochet days...
It is boat neck.
I have never blocked a crochet item. I started doing that after knitting. And when I was wearing this morning, I was like, I think I could block it. And then this would be more boat necked.
Ah, yeah.
Because it's
probably.
Like, yeah. But I like the way it fits. And the yarn is, I'm pretty sure, Wool of the Andes Knit Picks, which we talked about in our last podcast as well. It's a very, like, I think it comes in 50 gram skeins, but I would still say that it's quite economical. I don't know what it is in Canadian, but like it's, yeah, like I think for 100 grams it might be $10. It's like I think it's like $5.99, and they do tons of sales, so you can always find
on Knit Picks.
Yeah, on Knit Picks, yeah. So that's what I'm wearing.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Whips.
Well, Debbie walked in the door. I'm like, oh, I'm angry about this. So I'm working on my framed, and I split for the yoke. This was a headache.
So nice, though. Every time I see it, I'm like, I love these colors and this motif and everything together.
Yes. Well, now that I've split the yoke, and I think I'm doing it right. The purling, I've only done one purl round, but that's kind of a pain in my butt.
The colorwork purling.
Colorwork purling, holding 2 strands. And then I've ripped it out a couple times, so that was really super fun. If you're making a framed or you made a framed and you added some length, I added some length, but I only did 13 rounds because that's what Andrea Mowry suggests doing it in pattern. So it's 13 rounds for each motif. And so you can do 13 or 26 rounds, whatever. And I only did 13, and it does mean that you have to change where you start for your yoke. And I think that it would have been helpful. I know that it would have been helpful for some notes on that from Andrea, but she doesn't include those. And I did look on Ravelry for projects and stuff, and I did a Google search. I didn't know you could do this. You can search keywords in the projects. So I searched for the keywords of like adding and whatever, and I read through everybody that it pulled up. Lots of people did do the 13 rounds, but nobody gave notes on what that would look like for the next chart, because you have to start at a different spot. And so that's where I think notes from Andrea would be really helpful, is telling you where you would start on the chart if you do 13 rounds, because I think that's going to be very common for people to do just 13 repeats.
Yeah.
And if I'm doing this right, it also means that you start on a purl round instead of a knit round, which for somebody who's new to colorwork, it really messed me up. I did the chart the wrong way, had to pull it out. I did my cable cast-ons, I think, kind of wonky because it was on the purl round. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm hoping, I guess this is the part of like knitting when you're doing something new, is that I think I'm doing it right.
Right.
And I'm a couple of rounds in, but I'm probably going to have to wait until I get to the end to really know if I did it right, and when I do the back. And so here's hoping that if I did it wrong, I can fix it.
Right.
Because I don't want to rip it up. But one of the things I've noticed, and maybe someone who's made this will tell me if I'm wrong, but so because you have to do cable cast on 2 extra stitches, you can kind of see how this one stitch is like off, like it looks like there's a big gap. There is a big gap, and that's this, like when you do the cable cast on, you go through the stitch. So this stitch actually belongs to the back now, right? But there's kind of this gap here. So I'm hoping that, and it's on both sides, I'm hoping that that will fix itself when I knit into it or purl into it, but I don't know if it will. So,
well, here's my mental note. I'm going to do 26 instead of 13.
No matter what.
Even if I'm like, this might be a little long, I don't care.
Yeah.
Then I won't have to worry about that
problem. You know, and I probably should have just done, I was going to do just do the 26. But here's my notes. 1, I just measured it, and it's 13.5 inches, and I wanted it to be 14. And Andrea says it'll grow about an inch, and I think it will, definitely. So that puts me at 14.5 inches. I would be okay with a couple more inches of length. However, I think if I do a full another repeat, I will definitely need more yarn. So to try and be economical, I'd like to not have to buy more yarn. And I'm okay with 3/4 length sleeves. So my plan all along was, if I needed to, was to make a shorter sleeve. So I think that's my justification for making myself a headache for the last 2 hours trying to figure this out. But hopefully it works. And yeah, if you've made this and you've done the 13 rounds and you have pointers, please hit my DMs or something. Slide into my DMs. What do the cool kids say? Do something. DM me.
Send me a message.
Cool kids don't say that.
That's what this old kid says.
Fine. I have one more. It's not really exciting, but I don't have a lot today. So I wanted to bring this out because I wanted to talk about this.
Why doesn't she have a lot? Because Brandie abandoned me for like over a week to go to Jamaica with her husband. She has some nerve. And now she's back with very little things.
And we haven't seen each other in 2 weeks, which I think is like a world record. I don't know.
It's a long time.
It's a really long time. And we've barely talked because I didn't really have... I did have Wi-Fi, so in the room and whatever.
Okay, but I was actually surprised you even responded at all to something.
Yeah, because I don't normally.
No.
Normally I leave my phone off, but because this is the first time we went away in 10 years without our children. So the last time was actually almost the exact same time of year. It was overlap days, beginning of November. So we left our kids with my brother, and he is a almost 8-year-old bachelor. Very competent. There's nothing wrong with him or anything, but he's a bachelor, managing 2 children. So I did have my phone on me a little bit to be available.
I feel like no matter what, if you leave your kids, no matter who they're with,
yes,
you still feel like you have to parent them from far away. And this is just the way it is.
And my youngest is 12. So he is older, but he definitely is quite attached to both of us. So like we knew that he would want to hear from us, that it would make him feel better. And it did. Like we talked to him every day, pretty much every day. There was a couple times where my husband talked to him, but I didn't for whatever reason. Like I texted him, but he didn't text me back. But yeah, and then the time change thing was kind of tricky. And I notoriously, and Debbie knows this, when I go away for whatever, like when I go camping, I will actually shut my phone off for a whole week and not even turn it on because my husband's with me and he has a phone. So anybody that needs us can call us and get a hold of him. And I just really love not having a phone for a week. It's like, oh, it's the best thing ever.
It gives the brain a break because, like, especially moms, women always have like so much mental load. Yeah. So turning off the phone, I actually can't imagine this because I don't ever do that.
It's when I go camping, we often camp where there's no service anyway. So that's kind of what started it. And then, yeah, it was just like a realization how connected you are to the world all the time. And it's not the important things. It's the little tiny things. Like I've been away and gotten a message about work that really could have waited. But as soon as you read that,
you need to respond.
Shut it off.
No.
And if you don't respond, you're like, oh, this like thing. For me anyway, I'm a list checker.
Me too.
So if I have something on my to-do list, even if it's like, oh yeah, that totally can wait 5 days, I just like, it would be better if I just checked it off. So then that's the whole thing.
Then it's just done and you can actually like let it go.
Yes. And I think being the age that I am, I'm 40, 40 years old. And so you would, I'm sure, relate to this. We grew up in an age without cell phones. Like I got my first cell phone when I was 18. And even then, most people did not have cell phones. I got a secondhand phone for my grad gift. And even then, like that cell phone, it didn't have the internet and you didn't really text on. You didn't text on it. I don't remember. No. I texted on mine. It was a Nokia something. Right. I texted later, but I think on my StarTAC we didn't.
But like very few people, because not all my friends had cell phones.
Right.
So.
And yeah, so.
It's mostly just calling people.
It wasn't until 10 or 11 that I got an iPhone and even the original first iPhones, like that was when people were like still T9 texting, right? So so whatever. My point is,
as we talk all about technology and the evolution
in the knitting podcast, you're welcome. My point is that I grew up in an age where you weren't always available. And so for me, it doesn't feel panic inducing to not always have my phone on me.
Right.
Whereas I think for my kids, like they grew up in an age where like you can always get a hold of someone and it probably feels a little bit more crazy to not be able to get a hold of someone. Or to Google something.
This is true.
Yeah. Like I don't need answers all the time. Okay. So back to my work in progress. So I'm making a sock, which is, boring, blah. But I wanted to talk about this yarn. It's the Sock Twin Crazy Ball by Estelle. And this colorway is called Firecracker. And I'm going to show you. So, like, this is, like, black with some neons in it. And if you've knit with one of these, you'll know, like, the color, there's major color changes in the ball. And when you buy it, it looks like this. So there's no way, unless the store has knit up a sample, there's really no way of knowing what's in the middle. So I have no idea what's in the middle, but I have a funny story about this. I knit with different colorway. I found this right before I went on vacation in the back of my sock yarn. So I bought this a couple years ago. I forgot about it. But my first really successful set of socks that I made for myself were made with similar. It was an Estelle yarn. I don't think it was called the Sock Twins. But it was very similar yarn. And I can't find it anymore, and this is the closest thing, but same type of thing. Color changes are really dramatic. Well, I made a pair of socks for myself, intentionally for myself, but they were way too big, and my husband was like, oh, I'll wear those. And I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, I don't care. And they faded. They had like some black and some white in them, and then they faded to like a hot pink, like super hot pink. So there was a lot of hot pink in these socks. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, I guess. Like, because I couldn't wear them. So I was like, okay, yeah, sure, you can have these socks. So he has these socks. And then a few months later, and he takes socks to work and washes them at work. And so I don't see them at all because he works away. So I forgot about these socks. And then one day he was telling me the story. He was like, yeah, so I was in the boot room at work, putting on my work boots, changing from my regular boots. And one of the guys at work was sitting next to me, and he's like, kind of smirking. And I was like, okay. And he's like, yeah, I was wearing those hot pink socks you made me. And I was like, well, I didn't make them for you. I made them for me. And then you adopted them. And I was like, well, did you say anything to him? And he's like, nope. I just smiled. And I'm like, so you didn't like say anything about your hot pink socks? He's like, nope. But then a few days later, they were all having dinner together. And one of the guys had said something about his wife knitting or crocheting or something. And Jeff was like, oh yeah, my wife knits too. And then he's like, and then I looked across the table at this guy, I don't know what his name was, whatever. I looked across the table at Joe and was like, yeah, she makes me socks. I noticed you were eyeing up my socks the other day. And this guy started laughing. He's like, well, they were like a really bright color. Like, oh my God. And I've made him so many like beautiful colored socks. Those are the ones that got noticed.
Those are the ones that now he's known for.
Yeah, pink socks.
Not all the other really nice ones.
All the masculine yarns that I've bought. Nope, hot pink socks.
This yarn is very thin. Do you find? It's very like fine sock yarn.
It is, but because it's like, I don't know what it is content-wise. Merino wool. Superwash merino wool, 25% nylon. So I think it's a 25% nylon because a lot of hand dye are 20% nylon. Mm-hmm. The only thing I would say about this, I love the socks that I made with the other yarn, and I'm going to see if this is quite similar. But the only thing is that because of the way it is twisted or whatever, but what's that called, plied? Mm-hmm. It's splitty.
It looks splitty. I don't know if we could like see this. Probably not.
So,
well, maybe.
That is my one.
So it's
one negative about it. Knitting with it,
it's like
it is quite splitty.
I don't know if it's showing at all. It's not focusing.
Yeah, but it's
So it's not a tight twist. It's very
very splitty. So if that bothers you, don't buy it. But it was $15.99 for the 100-gram ball, and from the other ball that I made socks, I made 2 pairs of shorties. And I still have yarn left over that I'm going to probably make. I'm just going to pair it with this since it's the same type of yarn. And probably
how many yards is this?
It's 100 grams, 400 meters.
Oh.
It doesn't say yards.
Well, meters, 400 meters.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit.
It is a lot.
So if it's sock twins,
yes.
Does that mean it goes, like, how do you make a twin?
So it's 2 gradients in one ball. You knit to the middle and then start again. So,
okay.
However, I don't do that because I make shorties. So when I did it the first time, what I did was I finished a sock, and then I wound the yarn and cut it to the next thing.
To the next color where it would have started the same.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And then I was left with like basically it was like a white or whatever with color in it like that. So then I wound 2 balls, and that's what I can start with at some point. However, this time I'm going to go crazy, Debbie, as long as my OCD doesn't kick in. I think what I'm going to do, so this is the plan, I'm going to knit this sock, and then I'm going to knit the next sock, and then I'm going to knit another sock, and then I'm just going to put them together, and they're just going to be socks.
Wow. I think that's a great idea.
I know, and it's going to be great I'm going to show you guys my wonky socks. I'm going to call them the wonky donkey socks, and we're going to see if this works.
Because really, then you have just 4, and then you just mix and match them, and you don't,
Yeah, or maybe 2 will look alike. Who knows? It's my crazy plan.
I like that plan. There, in case anyone wants to see this again.
Yes. And I know some people, like,
sock twins.
We have a friend in our knit group, and I had this other yarn that I bought that's the same idea. You knit to a certain part and then start over again. And there's like a pattern in the yarn. And I made 2 pairs of socks and they weren't perfect. The pattern wasn't perfect, but it was pretty close. And they were beautiful. And a friend of ours was like, oh, I really want that. And she picked up the yarn. And then later she's like, I didn't buy that yarn because I could not stand the idea of it not matching perfectly. So I'm not that crazy. I do scrappy socks all the time. It doesn't bother me. But this is definitely like more intentionally. I think it's going to be fun. And they're just socks.
They're just socks.
If Jeff can wear hot pink socks and own it at work, I feel like I can handle 4 weird socks.
Most people won't see them anyway. Unless you're like me and you wear your Birkenstocks to show them off.
No.
I'm wearing knit socks today.
Oh, those are pretty. Who made them?
I did.
No way. You've never made socks.
I know.
They're figuring weight.
Yeah, I made them forever ago. Oh. They're Wool Baron.
Rose City Rollers?
Yeah, and they're Wool Baron.
Those are pretty. They're so Halloween-y.
Yeah. I can't remember. It's like a zebra stripe something, and then I just coordinated the toes and toes.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any whips?
Yes.
Well, I do. So, since you texted me. I feel like I'm knitting.
I was speed knitting so that I could have content today. So, my whips. Okay. What bag are they in? This one. So, first, I have my... Take out all my things out of the way.
Uh-oh.
Don't lose that notes. I need the notes. So first I have my ribbed hat for our knit along. Our knit lovers book club.
I love it. You showed that last time. You haven't really made a lot of progress on it.
I didn't have it cast on last time.
Oh, you just had the yarn?
I think I just had the yarn,
okay.
yes.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Because then Brandie told me it's not black.
It's not black.
Anyway, it has some black in it.
No, it's blue gray.
Look at that. Look at that black. There's black plied in there. Anyway.
Charcoal at the best.
Whatever. It is neutral.
In case you haven't seen the other podcast, it only matters because her niece asked for a black or red toque. Otherwise, it wouldn't matter. But, like, man, if I asked for a black toque and got this, I'd be disappointed.
Okay, so I actually might not give this to Charlie, and I'm going to show you because I have another one that I'm knitting. So, but this will be a gift knit. Anyway.
I love it. Like, I would wear that.
So,
that one. No, just kidding.
Well, maybe you'll get it. It's what's this pattern called? The Classic Ribbed Hat
by Soho.
Purl Soho.
And that is, in case you're just catching in, we are doing a Knit Lovers Book Club where you read a book, Holidays by Christina Lauren. It's a light, romancy holiday read. Think, what is that? The holiday movies, Hallmark holiday movie type read. Mm-hmm. Yeah, super easy read. And you knit or crochet a hat, and there's prizes, which we'll talk about more later.
Yeah. So then my other whip is also a hat. So this one...
Is this the one you want to give to Charlie?
Yes. So it's knit with this yarn, and it's called Snowflake yarn. I have the ball band. I actually brought the ball band.
What is it? It looks bouclé-y.
My stomach's grumbling. It is Lang Yarns Snowflake yarn.
It's like a chainette yarn. Yeah.
Yeah. And it has its own pattern in it, right? But so see how it's working up. You see how there's no pattern happening? Like the little white flecks and the black flecks, they're not really making a design.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a gauge issue, because when I look at the picture, and I will show you, it shows
it makes
some sort of pattern.
Yeah.
Kind of. Like you can see the white at the bottom of it.
Like chevron-y almost. Okay.
Like this is what it's supposed to be. But I find it's not really working up that way.
Not. No. This is so soft.
Yeah.
This is a good knit for a kiddo because it's so soft.
Yeah. And the pattern to make the hat is free on Ravelry, and I bought the yarn at Stash Lounge in Calgary. like a couple of years ago.
I like it.
Yeah.
I can't get over how squishy it is.
So.
I have not knit with a chain net yarn.
But look how stretchy this is.
Very
I
stretchy.
feel like it's going to be too
big.
giant for her. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's also with the gauge thing. So it was 72 stitches cast on. This is, I would say, a bulky yarn. So maybe I will rip it out. I haven't gotten very far, so it's fine. Rip it out and cast on less to make it little. And do longer ribbing maybe. Because I only did like 1.5 inches of ribbing. But yeah, so...
so that it'll stay on her head better.
Yeah, because I feel like it'll just fly off of an 8-year-old's head.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that's my other whip. And then, what did I have? What else? Oh, yeah.
You have another whip?
I have another whip. So this is what I've been working on for the last week. Because I only got the yarn 1 week ago. Is the Magpie Darling Shawl.
Oh yeah, this is your sample knit.
The sample knit. I'm doing the sample knit for Frankie Gray Fibres. And it's this pattern. The Magpie Darling Shawl by Amanda Kafka, who is the Crafty Jackelope. So if you are aware of Crafty Jackelope, Amanda has what she calls the bling bar and lots of like sequiny, flashy yarn. So...
oh, wow, that's bright.
It is bright. This is not my palette at all, if I were to pick colors, but it's really fun to knit.
It kind of looks like underwear.
What? What do you mean?
I don't know. It just does. It's like very...
I don't know. My underwear are not this holy, and if yours are, you should throw them away.
No, like lacy underwear. I don't know like that either.
I own lace, and it's not this loose.
Okay, fine.
Maybe. That wouldn't hide very much either.
From my viewpoint, it doesn't look as holy as it does right now. Now that you're showing it, it is very holy.
Yeah. It's very lacy. So, like, together, the two yarns that I'm using are this one, which is, it's called Majestic Fluff. So, it's a suri cashmere blend. So, this one is from Frankie Gray.
And is it lace weight or filigree?
It's lace.
It's lace weight, yeah.
And then I should have brought another, like a full ball of this, but I'm almost done this one. So this is the bling, and it's called Lana Gato Deco bling. So it's got teeny little sequins in there. And it's also lace. So together it'd be fingering weight, a fingering weight. And I'm halfway done.
Holy moly.
But it grows like quite quickly.
Because it's quite lacy. Or like...
well, that because there's so many, like the increasing, because you start here where the stitch marker is, and you're increasing to create the triangle.
It's triangular, kind of wrap around the bottom back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's but I was really surprised with the fabric. Like it's not
We've talked about this, haven't we?
Like it doesn't feel horrible.
No. That you definitely feel the sequins a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's not as scratchy as you think it would be.
Mm-hmm. I guess, yeah, having the suri in it, makes it a little softer and very light. I
think I can handle it like that for sure. I don't know how I'd feel about a sweater with it around my neck without a tank top or something to be.
Yeah, like having this and like over top of a garment, like it wouldn't really scratch your skin very much. You'd probably wear it quite loose. Yeah. Amanda Kafka has a hat too, the Magpie Bling hat, and she doesn't put the sequins in the brim.
I've seen the hat and I really like the toque. Yeah. But I didn't realize that the sequins were in the brim. I think I would like that. Like
either you double brim and on the inside it doesn't have them, or you just don't put it in the brim at all, and then because they would totally. I get like thinking about it. I'm like, oh my god, I'd have to rub my forehead,
especially because you know that Debbie likes to have her eyebrows.
My eyebrows need to be warm.
Yes, I do. I like the double brim idea actually a lot, especially in our climate.
Yeah,
because it gets cold.
So to make this, I only need one ball of this, but I need 3 of this because the yardage is just not the same.
And what does that cost? You don't know because it was gifted. Well,
it's not mine, so I don't remember. Okay. Because I have to send this back. I didn't buy it. I did look
Yeah.
Because she has kits. Yeah, so Amanda Kafka actually has kits on Crafty Jackelope to make this.
Oh, that's nice.
And she has Frankie Gray fibers paired with the various bling options. And I want to say a kit is about $75 for the 4 skeins that you would need. And that's Canadian, like something like that. It's between 70 and 80. Yes, so that's what I'm trying to get done in the next week because I need to send it back to Jody for her sampling. And those are all my whips.
Sweet. I just realized that our lists are in different order.
That's usually how it happens.
Yeah, not that it matters because my rest of my list is like blank, 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 blank. Just kidding.
I'll fill it in. I guess maybe.
Did we do finished objects?
We didn't yet.
Okay.
We can.
Okay. I finished my classic ribbed Purl Soho hat.
You need to touch it.
So I made a kid size because I ran out of yarn when I was casting on, but it actually fits me really well. I might keep it actually. So I made this with piece fleece yarn, and it is a little toothy, not super toothy, but it does have a little bit of bite to it. But I think it'll be okay. And I tried it on, and I like it. So I was originally going to gift it, but I might make another one in the opposite stripe pattern because I have enough yarn, and then I'll be done with that yarn. Hopefully, get rid of it.
I like the decreases on this.
So to be fair, I was doing the decreases and I don't know what I did wrong, but there was like at one point there was kind of a mess up and you can kind of see there's like a little bobble. And so then I just did it.
Just went with it?
I just went with it. And so it might not be perfect, but it looks similar to the pattern. I don't know if it's because I messed up the stitch count somewhere or what, but you can't tell. So.
And when it's on your head, it stretches out anyway.
Yeah,
Are you going to block it?
I haven't blocked it.
Would it soften it?
It might, washing it for sure. But I practiced this in the mirror. I wanted to show you that I can keep my eyebrows warm in it. See?
That's my kind of hat.
So it does have like kind of a, not the nipple, but whatever, something. But yeah, like I said, it's a kid's size, but I think I hate it when my hats are constantly slipping all over off my head. So I think I might keep this one and make one to donate in the opposite colorway. Yeah. I like it. Also, now that I have so many jobs, I need winter gear to hang out outside with children. Yeah.
I like it.
I like it too. And like I said, it's a little toothy, but not terrible. I think you're right though. If I washed it even without, I just gave it a little bath and.
Yeah, you don't have to like stretch it out and block it that way, but just like
I definitely don't think I would want to dry this.
No, it would totally felt and shrink.
Felt for sure, yeah. So yeah, maybe be careful with what I temperature water too. When anyway, that is my only FO.
Well, I only have one FO also.
All right, let's see it.
It is the Cadillac Knot Earwarmer.
Ooh.
So, getting into gift knitting, I'm like, I need to make some things. So this doesn't take long. It's a brioche stitch, and you knit one end to the other, and then you join, twist the front, and join them together. And that
probably knits up really fast, hey?
Super fast. Yeah. An hour-ish, hour and a half, if you're like watching TV like I was. But yeah, it's and I made it in Charisma yarn from Michaels, so it's like
economical, really very economical,
affordable.
Nice.
Yeah. Like so I'll make a few of these to gift this winter. Yeah. This was my speed knitting last night, so that I'm like, I need an FO. I'm like, no FOs. I have all these whips.
I almost ditched my framed to work on something else, but then I didn't. I was like, no, I'm going to stick with the framed. And then I had to switch to the sock for a little bit because my kid's friend came over and visited with us and I couldn't knit on the framed and talk to her. So I had to switch to sock knitting. But yeah, that's That was all the knitting. I did not knit on vacation. I took this sock and I did like 3 rounds of ribbing on the plane, and then that was it. So normally I knit a little bit more, especially on the plane, but because we did a red eye there, I did not knit.
You had to sleep.
Tried to
sleep.
It wasn't not the best.
Do you have any wish list items?
No. I don't.
Okay, I have a couple.
Oh, of course you can.
So first, Treehouse Knits. So the collection comes out in
Sunday.
a week.
I know. So, okay. I actually have a story about that. I had decided I'm not going to buy yarn from there. I'm like, I'm not going to get the NoaCon yarn. Hold on, just breathe.
Okay.
I was like, nope, I'm not. I have so many projects. I don't think I need yarn from there. So just a quick briefer. We've talked about this, but Treehouse Knits is doing a NoaCon colorway launch collection.
Called Stitch Season Collection.
Yeah. So there's like, I don't even know, 12 colorways. But anyways, so I was like, yeah, no, I don't need to. It's fine. But then she shared projects and okay, so there's this one color. It's not even really my color. I would not normally be gravitating toward it, but it is actually the song that it's Paul Revere, which is maybe my favorite NoaCon song. She shared The Traveler, which is on my list to make in with that as the colorway inspiration. Then not only that, but she also shared the other colorway that I really, really want in the first cardigan. Now, I don't want to make the first cardigan, but you know that the first sweater, I bought the pattern years ago, and I was going to buy yarn for it at Knit City, and I didn't find yarn for it. So now I'm feeling like I might buy yarn. But the USD thing is so tricky.
Very difficult.
And especially if I'm going to buy sweater.
Yeah, I'm like, do I want a sweater quantity? But I really like all the bases she has.
She has so many bases. And
she has a Suri DK base. It's like brushed. Well, it's brushed DK. It looks very.
It's not Suri. It's mohair.
Is it? And it's DK. It's so floofy.
I will look it up because I don't want to spread lies on the internet.
Yeah. Well, I do that all the time.
But I looked at it because I was like, ooh, I think I want that, but I'm pretty sure it's mohair, and I don't want it if it's mohair.
No.
But she did say, like that's one of her favorite bases.
And I like how the color is so different on each base.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to Treehouse Knits on Instagram and you can see all these things that we're talking about.
Base info. We need a song while we're looking for things like da 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 da. The Jeopardy song would be good.
I will not sing for you.
Fine. Be that way.
The people would not want me to.
The people. Okay. I don't know why I can't find it. Isn't it called brushed? Something brushed? Okay.
It's brushed DK, I was pretty sure. It's not on her list.
Oh, Magnolia Brushed Merino. Okay, so it's merino. It's DK light worsted, 90% extra fine, superwash merino brushed. Yeah. So I knew it wasn't Suri. It's, yeah. So
it looks very fuzzy.
I know. I would have to see it in person before I purchased a sweater weight quantity. I think so that's that. But, yeah. And so the two colorways that I like, or whatever, and then there's this colorway that I still friggin' just love that color.
And that one is one that looks so different on all the bases.
Yes. And you could, because here's a picture of all the bases. Like, you can see how some are very dark compared to others. This one here, I think, would be really amazing.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's the brushed merino. It's so weird. I think that this one would look good as a contrast color in mosaic. But yeah, so I'm still on the fence. I'm deciding because even like this morning, I'm like, I have so much yarn to make things and so many sweaters I want to make, and do I need more yarn? I don't know.
I know. Actually, last night when I was quickly knitting this thing, I was thinking, okay, what am I going to cast on next? Like, I'm doing this shawl, but once I'm done this shawl, what is my next thing? And I almost have this, like, I'm frozen because there's so many options. I'm like, I don't know what pattern to pick because there's so many, and every day I'm like saving new patterns in Ravelry and don't know which one to go towards because I already have I have yarn sitting out even to do the sailor, like that's just sitting out, and then the framed, and I'm like, what do I really want to knit? I don't know.
That's exactly how I'm feeling, and okay, so going back to the whole fear of missing out and the being slow knitter type thing or slow fashion and whatever, that's kind of how I'm feeling. I feel like this FOMO of missing out on this collection, because I love his music so much and I love the connection and I love some of the colorways, but I think that I'm going to have to sit this one out because I feel like it's just really that feeling of FOMO and not really I don't need it, and so I want it, but I think I'm just going to have to sit this one out because I have so much yarn. And I do, in the past, I've been able to justify my purchases because before I didn't have sweater quantities and I want to make different sweaters or t-shirts or whatever. And I didn't have that. And I mean, I still have quantities from, well, obviously Knit City was 2 weeks ago, not 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago. But yes, I have, like you said, I have the Sailor, I have another hipster yarn for, I have, what are you getting from there? I
don't know. And that's the thing. If I did, I have to pick a pattern for it first.
Yes.
I can't just blindly order
because
the yarn.
That's the thing. Paying that for us Canadians, it's
too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
You need to have and you need to know exactly how much yarn you need.
Well, and that one colorway that would be good in a mosaic or something. If I ordered 2 of something, it would have to be with the intention of pairing it with something else. So I'd kind of have to know what would this look good in. So I have to think about this. It's a week away.
Yeah, you got a week.
Yeah. The other thing on my wish list, I have a picture. I really like these. Have you seen these?
No.
So, oh wow, Amsterdam bags. I saw this one. I really like it. It's super cute. So it's hand paint. They hand paint the fabric, and then they make the bags out of the fabric that they make.
Oh my god, I love it.
But they make bags, specific ones, and I'm not going to go online on here because it's not connected to the internet. But they have bags that are specifically made for different store locations.
Okay.
So, what's the one what's the flock one? Who's the one that organizes flock? What's the store?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
I will go up on flock.
Shop La Mercerie. Yes. Shop La Mercerie.
I didn't know that before now.
Okay. She has a specific bag that's Amsterdam makes this one design for their store, and other stores have the same. So it's kind of cool. If you want that design, you have to go to that store and get it, or order it from them or whatever. But then there are some that you can get direct from Amsterdam, and I think that's one of them. This one that's splatter painted.
That's pretty cool.
So I like that one. And then the other, and I can't even tell you price points because I haven't checked, but the other
it's
thing,
just on your wish list.
It's on the wish list because I saw it and I'm like, ooh, splatter paint. That seems so fun. The other thing, I don't know how to say this. That's her first name, Ksyu Owen. Kasui Owen?
Well, we could see if Google will bring it up.
So she uses polymer clay and makes earrings and necklaces that look like crochet motifs.
Let me see that.
They're super
KSY.
KSYU, and she's on Etsy, I think.
We'll see what it tells us to. No, it doesn't come up, unfortunately. So I don't know how to say it.
I don't know, but she has really cute earrings and necklaces and things that are made out of polymer clay. And to go to her Instagram, she has little reels that show her making the tiny little pieces and putting them all together, and they look like crochet motifs. And she has granny squares, and
those are beautiful.
Yeah. So this one is these ones are a design that she doesn't do often, or I haven't seen a lot in her Instagram. A lot of her stuff is granny square looking and various colors, and they're super cool. So those are also on my wish list.
Nice.
Yeah. And that's all from my wish list.
And then we're going to go to gift knitting next.
Sure, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Patterns.
Okay, so Debbie messaged me the other day and said that it would be kind of cool to, because we usually talk about a few new patterns. So this week we are focusing on things that we thought would be good gift knits. And we did not talk ahead of time. So if we have the same ones, I probably don't.
I guess we'll see.
Wow, you have a long list there. I did not do this much homework. So my first one is kind of a broad scope, but my first gift knit I thought would be kind of cool is Sarah from Imagined Landscapes does a bunch of gnome patterns, knitting gnome patterns. And a couple things. One, you can buy tons of her patterns at whatever one you want. And there's different, like there's Halloween ones that just came out and whatever. And then also she is doing a mystery knit along, which it kind of works for a gift knit, I guess, if you wanted. It's from December 1st to 21st. And I did it a couple years ago. And so you get a hint every day over the 21 days. It's not always a knitting hint. Like there's not always knitting that needs to be done. It's very bite-sized knitting, very manageable to be done in the 21 days. So you don't feel overwhelmed. And if you're behind a week, that's fine. It's like a plane flying over my house. It's really loud. But anyway, so before November 13th, there is a coupon you can use, December Joy, and you get 50% off the knit along. And when I did
50?
50%, 50%
Wow.
off. Yeah. I don't know what the price is, but when I did it, what I found really cool is that there was, she included recipes and stuff too. And then there's a story. So the gnome, like there's a story that goes along with the gnome. So I thought that would be kind of cute. I think gnomes are a good gift for a kiddo. And then like you include the story. It could be like a whole thing. The gnome that I knit had all these like accessories. It had like 3 hats and a bag and all these things. So it's also something that you could like with a kid, give them Advent style maybe or something like that.
Where's your gnome?
At school. I took it to preschool. Okay. The kids play with it there. I know. I wish.
You're not showing this gnome.
I know. I should have. I took my gnome to preschool, and my preschool kiddos play with it like every day. It's in like this little basket with all these story items, and then they can make stories with it.
Cute.
So yeah, it's got the hats and the scarf. What else do I want to say? Yeah, either for a kid or for somebody who likes whimsical decor.
Yeah.
It'd be a nice little knit. And I do want to say this because I feel like Debbie's gonna call me out. I didn't like knitting the gnome. It's not that the gnome was fine. It's like, it's the cutest little thing. But I need a project to be useful. And I'm not really into decor. You can't see this right now, but there's 4 pumpkins on my credenza still from my garden. That's how decor related I am. I know it's not Halloween anymore, but I will do something with those pumpkins later. Anyways, point of my story is I'm not really into changing up my decor all the time. And so the gnome, I thought it'd be so fun to do, and it was fun. But the gnome that I also got had 3 hats, and I'm knitting all these hats. I'm like, why does this thing need so many hats? And it got little outfit changes. So taking it to preschool really helped because the kids love it so much, and they get to dress the little gnome. But I don't think I would ever knit a gnome again unless there was a purpose. It needs to have a purpose. Yeah.
So I am into knitted decor because I make chickens and pumpkins, and
Yes.
I haven't made a gnome yet. But I know, and it's because I hate knitting with sock weight yarn.
Fair enough. But she has some that I think I know they have to be heavier weight. Because I went on her, I'm going to bring it up. I went on her Ravelry to get all the details. And she has some, I'm going to show you some of these gnomes. They're so freaking cute.
Okay, so I guess I could just knit it whatever weight I wanted.
And it would
just be bigger.
But there is one on here, that has to be bigger than figuring weight.
Yeah.
And that's
the gauge looks much larger.
Yeah, the stitches look quite big. So, So yeah, there's tons of gnomes that you could knit. And then she also has not that you're going to gift knit this, but there's a gnome hat.
Oh, if somebody liked gnomes though, that could be a gift knit. It would be a very knit-worthy person.
They would have to be a very knit-worthy person, yes. But yeah, totally. Oh, and there is also this little gnome coffee sleeve.
So cute.
Yeah, so if somebody who's gnome likes gnomes,
Gnome lover?
Gnome lover. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's That's number one. You go to the next. We'll go back and forth.
Okay.
So like I'm in it because you have 10 and I have 2.
Okay. Well, I can do 2 and then
yeah. Why
go
don't
to
you do that? Yeah.
Okay. So my first one is the Sophie scarf. It's so popular.
Oh yeah.
And
That's a
it's.
good one.
Did I take it? Did I do a screenshot of this? Yes, I did. So I haven't knit a Sophie scarf, but I have one to show you. So this is the Sophie scarf. It's a smaller design. It's very versatile in that you can use variegated yarn or solid yarn or whatever. But this is my Sophie scarf. So somebody knit this for me. Body knit this for me for my birthday. Oh, and it's her birthday today.
It is her
so
birthday.
Happy birthday. She made this, it's like kind of silky because it's got like a sheen to it. It must have a silk content or something. I can't remember. But it's just like this tiny little thing. So it'd probably be really fast because it's just garter.
Yeah, you just go back and forth.
And it's got an I-cord edge, which is part of the, just knit that as part of it. It's not like it's applied later. And then
people wear it like that, or they wear it in their hair with like a little knot. It's super cute.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a quick knit.
So, I usually, if I wear it, it's like this, and then I'll even like tie little knots in the end. Like,
oh, that's cute. You have like a color theme happening.
I do. So yeah, Sophie scarf.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So my next one are, although I don't actually knit socks really, I like shorties because they're fast.
Yes.
So this designer, Knit on Designs by Deb Buckingham, and she has tons of shorty patterns. So this is one. It's called Gone Leaf Peeping. The mic is right there, and I'm trying not to hit the mic. So you can see that it has the lace down the top of the foot, or you don't have to do that. You can just do it in the cuff.
That's cute.
And then another one that I liked of hers was the willow socks, and the cuff is even shorter, and it's got a little tiny bit of lace on the top of the foot. So, but there's so many. If you go to her Ravelry, there are a lot of shorties, and I like that. And there's some that are all one color. There's some that look scrappy. Really, you could do all socks scrappy because there's different parts to them. Yeah. So those are my 2 for now. Okay,
so my next one is the Chouquette Scrunchie by Deborah. And her Instagram handle is knit_on, but the on is a 0. And I brought it up on Ravelry so you can see. I thought it was adorable.
Oh, I like these.
Yeah, and so the best part is it is knit with, maybe not the best part, but it's knit with like silk mohair held double.
Okay.
And so you could use up like those little bits. Like I have some little bits left over.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I thought these would be great for like the girls in your lives that you want to knit. They'd be great stocking stuffers too.
And it's held double. I could use the leftover of this maybe.
Yeah, without holding it double.
Yeah,
totally.
Just like by itself.
Yeah. And it's also free. So it's a free pattern, which is great. And I think it even has like some, like you can see that it has little baubles on it or whatever they're called. I think you could make it either way. So
without them, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that'd be a good little gift knit. I don't know how, like, I guess it'd be like more decorative, like how it would hold up. But I don't know.
You mean in your hair? Like to use it?
Yeah, because
Well, I guess it depends on what elastic you use in it too. And
yeah.
You're not, and like something like that, you're not wearing it every day probably.
Yeah, you're not wearing it in the ocean.
No. I'm gonna wear my suri in the ocean. No. It'd be all like flat and stuck together.
I make that joke because I wore a scrunchie in the ocean and then I had to like dry it at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my...
Make better choices.
Make better choices. Well, to be fair, my hair with a regular elastic, which I do wear a regular elastic a lot, but it breaks so much. So, like the elastic breaks my hair. So
yeah. So my other one is also socks again.
Wow, you're really. I like that you're picking gift knits that you don't knit.
Well, other people would maybe make them.
Sure. Yeah,
maybe you'll like these.
Easy defensive much. I'm not knitting a gnome. You could just point that out.
Okay. Right.
We were thinking of other people.
Yeah, what other people might like in your life, viewers. So, the next one is the Celebrate Socks by Andrea Rangel. And so it uses self-striping yarn as color work.
I love them.
So,
I love those.
They're super cute. So if you have some self-striping sock yarn, and pick your main color, and there you go.
You could use kind of leftover because it doesn't look like it's a ton. You wouldn't need a full ball.
That end you could do shorter cuff, like you could just do shorties.
Yeah.
And do the foot in the color work.
Yeah.
So this, I think, so you can get this pattern on Ravelry, but it's a collaboration with Gage Dyeworks. So you can, I think you could, it might be done now where you had to pre-order the kit from them to use this pattern, but you can just buy the pattern and use your own self-striping sock yarn.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you have somebody in your life this to me would have to be a very knit-worthy person. Because
socks, yeah.
Well, socks, but also color work socks and self-striping yarn.
It's color work?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want them anymore. For some reason I thought it was mosaic or something. I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure it's color work.
Darn it. They're so pretty.
I wonder if you could do the mosaic. Maybe.
I don't know if I want to do color work full sock. That's just me though. You might want to knit someone a color work sock, and that's good. Good for you, Beer.
Well, maybe you just do the cuff in color work.
Yeah.
And then you do the whole foot one color. Because no one's going to see this anyway in your shoe.
Yeah. No one's going to see it underneath my leggings either. My jeans.
I guess so.
And I also do such shorties.
True.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's not about us.
It's for you. Maybe you really like that. Okay. Do you have more?
I have one more, but you go ahead. Oh, I almost shared something like that.
I have 3 more.
Okay. You do one and then I'll do mine, and then you do your last 2. It worked out perfectly. Okay.
So this one, stockings.
I almost did a stocking pattern.
So this is a doodle stocking. Look at those. So with the doodles, if you buy this pattern, I think you get 34 color work motifs, and then you can mix and match and make your own stocking design. And so if you make a whole bunch of stockings, they could all technically be different because you can pick the different color work motifs to knit the whole thing. And this is by Jamie Lomax. And 34 mix and match color charts, and the stockings are in DK yarn. So you can use whatever colors and use scraps to make all the different color work.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I thought so.
I'm going to jump in here because
I won't be making stockings because my family has stockings that we use, but
I made my family stockings, but they're like basic crochet ones. But since you shared a knit one, I'm going to share a crochet stocking that Briana K that did my sweater. She also made a stocking, and she made a couple, and this is the whole granny hexagon.
Oh, that's super cute.
It's a reel. I'm hoping that it shows the whole. Yeah, and she has a whole bunch. You can go to her Instagram, and she has like a ton of different patterns, and I think they're free because it just says like comment and.
Oh, that's so adorable!
Right?
Look at the little like Christmas tree. Oh, I like that one too.
Yeah, so if you crochet, it'd be I think a little bit faster, and I think this is worsted weight yarn as well. Yes, it is a free pattern, and she has a couple of different ones available, and her reels are really great. Like they show kind of how it goes together and stuff. So, yeah.
And that's when I wish I crocheted.
Yeah. It'd be a lot faster than that.
Now's not the time for me to learn, though. That stocking would have so many... it wouldn't look like a stocking. It would be like some weird misshapen tube. So another doodle pattern, because I think these are fun.
That's cute.
The Holiday Doodle Cup Cozy. So...
That's a good gift.
Again, various... So this pattern, you get like the multiple, again, different colorwork motifs. You can make the cup cozy, but because she has so many different, she has doodle decks in her book and all this stuff now, hundreds of different designs. You can make a cup cozy with whatever. It doesn't have to be Christmas themed. So, you know, if somebody likes dinosaurs, make the dinosaur one, or
that would be so
monsters
cute.
or whatever. And I didn't pull the picture of it. So I made cup cozies years ago for my kids' bus drivers.
Yes.
And then you can get free online, and you can probably buy them too. But there's people make different designs for little like cardboard cups and just print it.
Yes, I did that
print
too.
Print it on cardstock with your regular printer and cut it out, and it's the shape of a cup, and then
you slip that on there.
Yeah, and I put like a gift card
to a coffee shop in there.
Yeah.
Same. We were like, I did that 2 years ago for my bus driver and
they're great.
Kids teachers. Yeah, they're great.
And they're so fast to just make a little cup cozy. It takes no time.
Yeah.
And yeah.
The 1 year I paired mine, instead of doing the cardboard cutout, I went to Starbucks, I think, and they had like reusable cups back then that were like $5, I think. So I got the cup and put the gift card inside, and then the cup cozy on the outside. It was really cute.
That is cute.
Yeah.
So easy gift for like various people, because not everybody is knit worthy, but those are really fast homemade type of a gift that you don't have to spend a lot of money on if you have scraps and whatever, and you have a little bit of time. So then you had another one?
No? I do, but I have one more. But do you have one more?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You show yours.
Okay. My last one are the. Is this my last one? No, I had two more apparently, but I'm only going to share one because that's fine.
We can share them both.
No, I don't want it. I don't want it. So fingerless mitts.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
So these ones are the Point Edward mitts. You can see that you can make the hand part longer, shorter, so that you can at least unroll them if the fingers get cold. Because part of me is like, are fingerless mitts practical? But sometimes my hands are cold, but I might need my fingers for something. The phone or
texting,
typing or whatever. And this pattern is free.
Oh, that's cute.
So, yeah. Again, it would probably use much more yarn than a sock would.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I put...
I don't know how long those would take. I guess depending on how fast you are of a knitter.
I didn't put what weight of yarn those ones are, but probably something in the like DK Sport range. But there's so many different fingerless mitt patterns out there that go from like fingering weight yarn to bulky.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Cool. Okay, so my next gift, knit, is not a knit at all. It's just a homemade gift.
Okay.
Because let's be real here. Like, do we have time to knit for everybody? Maybe not.
No.
And maybe not everybody is knit worthy, but might be homemade gift worthy.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it'd be kind of cool to make felted wool dryer balls as a gift, and it'd be fairly quick. So I found this tutorial actually on Pinterest by Shepherd Like a Girl, and it just gives you 5 easy steps. It's super easy. You would need roving, stockings or nylons, scissors, your washer and your dryer, and then optional you can use a scale to weigh the yarn, but that's not necessary. And you just like wrap, I've never made them, but I know the gist of it. You wrap the roving into a ball, and then you wash it and dry it in the stocking. And yeah, so
that is very easy.
Yeah, I thought, and then you know, if you've got leftover roving or something, and I've actually seen people, and I don't know if it works, so maybe Google this. But I've seen people use roving, like the roving yarn, I guess, from Michaels. There's 100% wool roving. I think it's like Bernat, maybe. It's called Bernat roving. And I think it's like $5 to $7 a ball Canadian. Probably closer. I haven't bought it in a long time. Probably closer to $7, $10 now. But that would be economical.
Yeah.
If you needed to buy it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like this.
I like homemade gifts.
Me too.
We don't do a lot of gift giving. Not because we're Scroogey, but because we do... Not that we don't do gift giving, but we don't give things... Mostly, we have a very short list of people that we give gifts to, and outside of our children. And so even with our children, we try to give experience gifts because they have so much stuff. So things like season passes to the local ski hill and stuff like that. So it's kind of, yeah, when I'm making gifts, it's going to be like vanilla for baking and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and this is a really good gift net, right? But I also brought yarn that I like to use for gift knitting because I'm not going to use most of the time.
More expensive.
More expensive, but also the ones that require more care.
Yeah.
Because people don't want to do that if they're not into it. Right?
And they may not understand the care. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why can't I put this in the dryer? And
yes.
Or
not even knowing that you can't put it in the dryer and popping it in the dryer.
Right. And like people like, for example, teachers. I'm not going to send them instructions. And if I give them, like, it's going through my child and they're not going to tell them the instructions. So some of the yarns that I like to use for gift knitting. So this is the Hue and Me one from 2 of 1s. It'd be great. Again, at Michael's and very affordable. Woolly's Thick and Quick.
And that usually
use this a lot. So it's bulky. These are both of these are bulky yarns.
Toques and headbands in that are perfect and knit up so quick.
So this is the Charisma yarn. Very similar content and then bulky. Making things really quickly. And then this one I've used to make headbands before too, and it's not as thick, so it's more of a worsted weight, I guess, or sport weight. The Jeans, Line Brand Jeans yarn. Again, also more economical, and it's soft. It's nice to make.
I haven't used this actually. It's very soft.
Yeah, I've made headbands out of this stuff too that are like double knit, like basically knitting a tube and then connecting the ends together, so it's a little bit warmer. So yeah, those are like my gift knit go-to yarns. Is that all my gifty things to talk about? I think so. Yeah.
Requirements. I'm reading here.
You're reading my notes?
Yeah.
So I didn't buy anything, but these were gifted to me at our community knit night last week. We always have new people that show up, but this lady, I had never met her before, came to knit that night, and she noticed I had stitch stoppers on my needles, and she's like, "Oh, you like stitch stoppers?" And I said, "Yeah, they're great, so like on every project, so nothing falls off your needles." And she goes, "Here," and she threw something in my bag, and I was like, "What did you just put in my bag?" Stitch stoppers. She had extra. I don't know. She buys them and then she just keeps them, but she had extra.
Oh,
and she threw these in my bag. And they're Tigger themed.
I'm so happy I could bounce.
Yeah.
I love it.
The cute little tail.
Aww.
Yeah. So she just gave them to me. A lady I never met. How nice.
That's lovely.
Her name is Michelle.
I missed knit night because I was in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Sad to miss knit night, but not sad that I was in Jamaica.
No. I would choose Jamaica too.
Yeah.
And miss out on the stitch stoppers, I guess. But
that's cute.
Adorable. And then she also saw that I had my I had this with me. All my little notions and knitting tools are in it. And she goes, "You should put your name on that." And I was like, "Well, I could." And she goes, "I'm going to make you your name for it." So she has a Cricut at home.
Oh, nice.
And she is going to make me a label.
That's perfect.
To put on it with my name.
That's a great idea because I have the same one. So.
Yeah. And I was like, "Okay, well, tell me how much it is." She goes, "No, I just like doing these things." Aww. She's like, gifts are my love language." And I'm like, "I just met you. You're so nice."
I just met you. That's lovely.
Yeah. She's going to get my name and put it on my notions case.
So I don't have any yarn requirements, but this morning when I was like, what am I going to talk about on knitting? I was like, oh, well, this is kind of a new requirement. So we were in Jamaica, as we've mentioned, and this is pure chocolate from Jamaica. It's milk chocolate with ginger and speculas. I don't know what speculas are.
What are speculas?
I don't know. But so my husband went down to the gift shop to look for something else. I don't even remember. Water, because the resort we stayed at was lovely, but the one thing was that they didn't have bottled water. Yeah, which was kind of weird for us because we're used to having bottled water. Mm-hmm. But the water was okay, like it was good. But at night, so during the day there was these big canisters of refillable water, and actually I don't have it with me. But the resort, when you get to your room, there's these bottles, reusable. They're plastic, but they have a wood faux wood plastic top. So they're like clothes, and you can carry it around with you.
Oh.
And refill it at all these water stations. And so
That's nice.
all the bars during the day had water fill stations with ice, and then some of them were flavored with like limes and all like that kind of thing, cucumbers, whatever. But at night there was no refill station. So the one night our bottles were empty and we had gone to find water. We couldn't find any. So we asked the bar guy to fill it up for us, but he had like the nozzle, and it literally, like, our bottles weren't even that big. Like, I think it was like 2 cups, and it took him like 10 minutes to fill both of our bottles, and we're like, oh, we're so sorry. And then even worse was the water was kind of yucky tasting, so we didn't enjoy it. So anyways, yeah, my husband went to get a bottle of water from the gift shop, and he came back with these 2 chocolate bars, and this one was for me, and then he already ate his own. And I'm gonna savor this. I haven't opened it yet, but he went back to work this morning, and before he left yesterday, he gave me my chocolate bar, and he's like, savor it, taste it, let it melt in your mouth, enjoy every bit of that chocolate, because it was $11 USD. Yeah, and now I wouldn't have bought it, because I would have looked at the price and been like, no thank you. But he didn't look at the price, and the way the gift shop was, you couldn't pay for anything at the gift shop. You have to charge it to your room.
Yes, and then you get the bill at the end.
You get the bill at the end. So yeah, so he's like, you need to enjoy every bit of that chocolate bar, which I'm sure I will. But yeah, so, but anyways, what I want to share was, look at that artwork. It's beautiful.
It is.
Sometimes I'm attracted. A lot of times I'm attracted to products because of the art or their label, and that one. Definitely.
She's the cover is going to sell her.
Yes, it will. Or even like a fun name.
Even if the book is shitty, she'll read it because the cover's nice.
Not true. You'll be happy to know I had 2 books I did not read. I did not finish on vacation because they were crappy. Ooh, are we jumping into books?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know how last podcast I'm like, I'm gonna read that book, the Graveyard Was Morbidly Yours, or whatever.
Yes.
I didn't. I didn't read it. And it got returned.
Oh my god,
so,
what?
I know, and I was like, I have 15 days with this book still. I'm gonna finish
with this book.
And I didn't. It got returned before I go on my Libby, and I'm like, oh shoot, I only have 4 days left. I don't have time in the next 4 days to read this. And then it gives you notification. This book's been returned.
What a quitter you are.
I know. Like, I've read like nothing. The only book I've read is that one.
I've read,
and I'm not even
you're
done it
barely.
So you could talk about it because
okay, I was on vacation. I want to preface this with, I was on vacation without my children, and my husband dives, so I was left alone for
dives,
scuba dives.
Yes,
not dives. He didn't dive. I'm like, yes, he dives.
I just want to enunciate that well for people.
Scuba dives in the ocean, and I'm terrified of those types of things, so I don't dive. And our room actually didn't have a TV, which was lovely. We knew that going in. We chose the room partly because of that, and also because it had a hammock on the deck, which was freaking phenomenal. But so I spent a lot of time in the hammock reading and a lot of time on the beach front reading. So I read 12 books. I also read on the plane.
In 8 days.
Yes. And
oh my God.
And I had 2 that I started reading and didn't finish. So I'm going to very quickly give you, I wrote them down because I thought it was going to be fun. So the first book I read was actually The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Also, I only took my Kobo with me because we traveled with only carry-ons. So I have books on my shelf that I really wanted to read on vacation, but I just could not take them.
You only traveled with carry-ons?
Yeah.
How?
Well, we put clothes into a
carry-on. I know, but it's so small.
Yeah, you know what? Like... It wasn't as small. My bag is actually, I bought a brand new bag for this. So long story short, we originally almost booked the exact same vacation, but it was 7 days through a different airline. And then there was like a little not a snafu, but there was a reason why we didn't book that night. And then the next day, my travel agent texted me and was like, Brandie, I found the exact same resort, all that, but it was with WestJet, and it was an extra day. And because we were flying red eye, she suggested doing the extra day, and it actually like didn't even cost us anything extra. And so we were like, yeah, okay, let's do the extra day. Normally I do a lot of research and stuff and I read everything. But I was actually biking when she sent me this, and it was kind of time sensitive because we didn't want to lose the deal and whatever. So I was like, yeah, book it. And then I got home and started reading through, and Air Canada, the original flight baggage was included. WestJet is extra, and it's extra both ways. So you have to pay for it both ways, and it would take away our savings. And so I was like, well, I think we could try to do carry-on. And my husband could do carry-on, no problem. He took some of my stuff in his little tiny backpack. It's annoying. But yeah, so I just basically this is what I did, Debbie. I made a list of all the things that I felt like I could not live without. And then I packed my bag and just what do I need? And I tried on my outfits beforehand, which, I mean, it was just like my dresses and stuff. So I wore dresses twice. But yeah, I just packed those that could be easily worn together and stuff. And really I lived in bathing suits and like either a cover up or shorts and a t-shirt over top. So yeah, it was actually quite easy to do. So yeah, but I couldn't bring books. I had to bring only my Kobo. So anyways, back to that. Now that
I'm just in shock, I think. Okay,
yeah.
You guys.
So the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is actually our Lovers Book Club book read for this month, me and Debbie. And I really love this book. It's got lots of good reviews. I loved it. I thought it was I couldn't put it down. I have read some reviews where they're like, oh, I can't finish this. I don't like it.
I know.
And I don't know what's wrong with those people. No, I'm just kidding. I really loved it. I thought there was some twists and turns that you don't really see coming. It was like really real life. I like it when, not that I like when there's diversity, but when there's, when someone's life in a book just is like so easy, it just doesn't feel real to me.
Yeah.
And there's definitely like some conflict and some chaos and stuff in here that like, heartbreak and whatever, that really is really good. I thought it was really well written. I like the way at the beginning of each chapter there's like a little blurb about, maybe not at the beginning of each chapter because now I can't find any of them. This is weird. I feel like I read it on ebook and maybe it's different on ebook.
Like how the layout is or something?
Oh, here they are.
I like those.
Yeah, so there was like these little like media things, and I thought they were at the beginning of each chapter, but I guess they weren't. And so it kind of gives you a little insight to characters, and I really enjoyed that too. And I don't normally pay a lot of attention to the chapter titles and stuff like that, but not that the chapters have titles, but there's parts, and each part is a husband, so that's kind of cool too.
So the premise of this book is basically a writer is doing a biography on a famous person, and so the famous person is telling her story. Mm-hmm. And so I really like that too, because it's almost like this person could be real.
Yes.
Like, it's like reading a biography about somebody who, and I'm like, these characters, I'm like, is there really an actor named that? I'm like, I feel like the name could be a real actor.
Yes.
So, and then there's reference to actual actors like John Wayne, right?
Yes. Yes.
So it's really written like it would be in the times of those people too.
Yes.
It's really interesting. And one of the questions that we were given on that piece of paper. So for our book club, we're given questions that we should kind of like ruminate over to come to book club and talk about. And one of them is, if there is a movie made, who do you think would play the character? So that's
that's cool.
In my head, I have images of what actors could be, like the is it Glenn Powell? Is that an actor's name?
Yeah.
Glenn Powell?
Yeah,
the blonde, he's like blonde, younger actor.
Maybe.
I feel like he could be her second husband. Don, whatever.
Yeah.
Adler.
Don Adler, yeah.
And in my head, for some reason, I'm reading about Don Adler, and I'm thinking, Glenn Powell could play this character.
And also, so it's written so that there's like where her life, it's written like in, maybe not present tense, but kind of like from her perspective. And then she also has conversations with the writer where you're like learning more and she's asking about her life and why she did this or whatever. Yeah, so I would say that's like 4.5-star book for me. I really liked it. I read The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni, and it is a fantasy book. It is it's the first book in a 3-book series. I also really liked it. It was a quick read for me. I don't know. It was really good. I, again, couldn't put it down. It was amazing. And the premise of the book is that it's like I said, fantasy, so there's like magic in it, but basically this girl, it's from her perspective, the main female character's viewpoint, and she's 17 and she's been in a prison for 10 years. She was arrested with her dad and taken to prison, and her dad was a healer, and he died about a year into his prison sentence, and he taught her as much as he could, and then she kind of takes over, and it's kind of a little bit of back and forth from what was happening in the past and what's happening now. And it's really good. I loved it. If you're into like kind of fantasy and that sort of thing, it's really good. I read Just for Summer by Abby Jimenez. 4.5 stars. I never give anything 5 stars. So it's basically
there's always room for growth.
There's always room for growth. If you haven't read Abby Jimenez, I highly suggest it. I think they fall under romance, but I don't know if I would necessarily I feel like a romance novel kind of gives you that Harlequin romance vibes. They're not like this. This is like a life story. Yes, there is a relationship unfolding. However, I'm going to put a side note there. Just for Summer by Abby Jimenez is the 3rd book. It's not in a series, or whatever, like it's not sequely, but there's 2 other books, and it's Part of Your World is the first one, I believe, and then Yours Truly is the second one. And it was just asked in one of our book club groups if you could read Just for Summer by itself, and there was mixed reviews, but then someone said, I would highly suggest reading them in order because there is a huge plot twist that happens in the 3rd book that you're not going to understand. I read them in order. So I was going to write, yeah, go for it. But then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. You totally would not get that plot twist. So all of her characters kind of somehow interconnect. There's another series as well that I've read one book from. It's called The Friend Zone, I think. And he's like, the main character in there is like a cousin to one of the characters in this book. So she has lots of Easter eggs and stuff like that. So again, Just for Summer by Abby Jimenez. I would recommend the whole series. I read Same Time Next Summer by Annabelle Monaghan, and that is the same person who read the Nora Goes Off script. And
so that one was on my list. I've been wondering about this book.
It's an interesting book. Again, I read the other one, Nora Goes Off script, and I gave it to Debbie. I literally went to knit night and slapped the book down on the table and was like, you need to read this because I can't stop thinking about the ending. And it's 200 pages, really quick read. Same with this Just for Summer, or no, Same Time Next Summer. I would recommend it as a light beach read. It's interesting. She's got a very interesting style of writing. It's I feel like her writing is really about life choices and communication.
Well, and it's classified as a romance, but it's very closed door.
Yeah, there's no steamy scenes.
Relationship.
It's really yeah, there needs to be another subcategory, relationships or something. I read Stealing Home by Grace Riley, which is a college romance. Didn't care for it. Parental Guidance by Avery Flynn. Didn't care for that one either. Awkward by Avery Flynn, which was marginally better. So Avery Flynn, I actually had got these books on purpose to read on vacation because I read a different one. I think it's called Walk of Shame, and I really liked it, and it was funny, laugh out loud romance, comedy. What is it? Rom-com. So I was hoping that those books would be rom-coms, and they just weren't for me. And then I read The Game Changer by Lana Ferguson, and I paid $15 for it while we were at the resort on my Kobo because I was running out of books. And I read 2 of her other books. I think she only has 4 out. One I really liked, one I didn't like, and this one was also meh. The Hookup Equation by Roxy Noir, which I really enjoyed. Again, technically a romance, but I thought it was really good. It was lots of relationship-y stuff, and not just like relationship between the main male character and the main female character, but like also like with friends and family, and and like knowing something that could affect your whole family and choosing to not tell that secret to try to protect your siblings. I thought it was really good. Never Enough by Roxy Noir, which was it's the beginning of a different series, and that one wasn't my favorite one. It was actually a reread because I seen that there was 2 more books, but I read it so long ago that I was like, oh, I'll just quickly reread it. And yeah. And then Enemies with Benefits by Roxy Noir, which is part of the same series as the previous one, not the one that I didn't like. And I really love it's all like families or friends, and I really like the characters, so loving that. And then I read on the plane ride home, Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. And have you seen this in any of the book club books? Okay, well, it's like the covers are like these old school. I'm gonna see if I can bring it up. Like old school cowboy romances, kind of. Lots of people think that they are like old books. I can't get it bigger, but like they're very cliche.
I have seen the covers. Yes, yeah. I have seen these covers.
Well, I borrowed this on Libby, and
not so good.
Not so good. It's not the first one in the series. It's just the first one that came through on Libby. But yeah, so that's the 12 books I read. I'm done.
Lots of books. You can send me that list for our show notes, please.
I will. now that I'm done talking about books.
And same with the patterns, because otherwise I like to do our show notes. Yes. I like basically watch, and I just fill in the gaps.
Yes.
But that's a lot of things to fill.
It is a lot. I will
and you can even put stars next to them for people.
Okay.
So I can put like 1 star according to Brandie.
Don't read it. Yeah. Knit Lovers Book Club.
Yes, my notes. I have a note about Knit Lovers Book Club. So we decided that for the Zoom, we want to have like, so we can actually discuss the book club, discuss the book in book club, that we'd like to have at least 4 people registered for the Zoom, which is on
November 24th at 11 Mountain Time.
Yeah. So if you're planning on signing up, do that. But
you can find the sign up in our Instagram, and Debbie might put it on the show notes. I don't know.
I did. I do.
Okay,
Yes.
Perfect.
But for those who are knitting and want to post their FOs using the hashtag on Instagram, which is Knit Lovers Book Club FO, this will be your prize.
Ooh.
So this is a sock set by Crafty That Way. It's a dynamic duo with the colorways Cozy Cabin and Mountain Retreat. So this will be the prize on for the Instagram post, along with one of these, which are great. So this is a mini nitty naughty. My husband makes these for me. So you can use it. I think the minis are good for up to 50 grams. So like mini skeins or like your leftovers, to re-skein them from a ball so they're not sitting and getting all twisty and whatever. But yeah, so the winner will get these items.
Nice.
Get them apart. There we go. Yeah. And then I didn't bring a prize for the Zoom because we don't know if the Zoom is happening. So I don't even worry about that right now.
So we don't get 4 side ups, then we won't do it.
We won't do the Zoom, but we'll still do the FO on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then I brought other crafts. I brought another craft today to show. So it's this is my Studio Britta bag. Britta is a local maker. She does these like cute, I don't know, it's like quilted, but I don't know what they're called basically. And like she quilts the back. This is so super cute. And then this is my little charm by Hedge Pig Pottery. I love these. Making pottery beads are so cool. Like, they're so cute. So she makes things. This is the crafts in here. So I haven't worked on this recently, but I found it in my stuff and I'm like, I need to finish that. It's a
Puffin by the sea.
it's a counted cross stitch kit on a wood disc. That's as far as I've gotten.
It's wow, that's really cool. My kids are
Watching us
and making faces through the window, so I'm very distracted. That's
so it comes
cool.
with all of the fiber that you need.
And so when it's done, you hang it from somewhere?
Yeah, I guess so. So that's what it will. And it has like the
I've never seen a wood disc before.
pattern, basically, to make it. Yeah.
When did you start this? 2018?
Last year.
Oh,
It was before I moved last year, and then it got put into things. So this kit is Diana Waters handmade Puffin by the Sea. So there's different ones that you can get, and then it has this fabric so that you can cover the back.
Oh,
because the back is ugly.
And it would also make it pop, I would assume.
Maybe? Oh, probably. Like kind of hiding any light that might come through. But it comes with this fabric. Then you can just like glue the fabric onto the back. So yeah, that's
cool.
That is that.
That's fun.
And maybe, yeah, I'll finish it. And then I'll hang it in my office on my wall with all my other stuff.
All right.
That's all?
That's all.
I think so.
think
I had a funny story, but I'll save it for another day.
Yeah, because we're getting up there. Jeez,
We're
like
paparazzi'd.
we're getting pop. But also we're at an hour and a half, and we're like, we don't have very much to share today.
We had lots to share today.
Apparently we did, yes.
Okay.
Okay. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Maybe lean forward so that I can take a screenshot.
Oh no.
Okay, bye.
Bye.